Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying Model Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest action figure video podcast. So take off your pants, crack a beer, let's talk toys. Let's talk about the nerdy news that you need to know about. It's the only news that matters. It's good news. And on today's show, the Olympics add some ninja warriors, Maverick cruises to record numbers, and the Umbrella Academy whips up a storm. But as you know, here at Model Behaviour, action figures always come first.
Or sometimes not at all.
So let's talk about them. I'm doing a Pacino today. Gotta talk about action figures. Hoorah!
I just watched a Pacino movie. Super 7 have announced their third wave of Simpsons figures, and as the previous ones did, these look super fun. And of course, they really do hearken to the 90s glory days of The Simpsons. First of all, we've got Ralph Wiggum with so many accessories. I mean, with Super 7, it's all about the accessories, and I think these are just the presentation type boxes where I get it with the inbox collectors. Just having them there on a wall or on a shelf, they look gorgeous, and they should do, because they ain't cheap. Ralph and Mr. Burns, who's the other regular figure, they're going for $55 each. And then you got yourselves Kang and Kodos, who are going for 75 beans a piece. It's a lot of money, but at the same time, you get nice, beautiful action figures. So it's up to you. If you love 90s classic Simpsons, as I do, these could be a no-brainer. I can only spend so much money on so many things. And if I wasn't, say, collecting Mortal Kombat, for example, Simpsons would be a very good alternative. But I'm willing to not dip my toe in that rabbit hole. But dip my toe in that rabbit hole? That kind of works. Yeah, we'll stick with that. But yeah, Mr. Burns looks great. He's got all of his different accessories that harken back to different specific episodes. Kang and Kodos, I'd love to see how big they are in hand to kind of justify that extra bit of pricing. I'm sure they probably are worth it. Either way, we don't have an official release date yet, but stay tuned. I'm sure we'll find out soon. Blitzway have shown more images of their Carbotix, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Stitch. I've spoken about these before, and I just wanted to feature them again because they just look really, really cool. I didn't know that this was a design style that was like, this is a thing I like. But yes, it is. Retro, roboticized versions of classic characters. It's just wicked. It looks like someone in a Disney movie made mechanical versions of these characters, and there's almost something like a little bit sinister about them, which I really dig. I just love this future retro kind of tech. It's awesome. So they're going to be expensive, but you're going to get your money's worth as well. They have all sorts of LED type features, and a lot of love and craftsmanship has gone into this. So these I'm very excited for. Kaze ni nare. What does that mean? It means here comes the wind. And what does here comes the wind mean? It means here comes Minoru Suzuki. The murder grandpa from New Japan Pro Wrestling is getting a figure from Super 7, and it looks good. We've only got 2 promo pictures to go on at the moment with no price and no release date. So just kind of gird your loins, or more to the point, like stiffen yourself for a stiff forearm to the neck, because that's what Minoru Suzuki does. If you are not into pro wrestling, then you do not know the glory of Minoru Suzuki, the world's greatest sadist. I love this dude, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Just a grumpy, miserable old man who gets no joy from anything besides socks, if you follow his Instagram, and battering people. So this one I might have to pick up, because also the face sculpt looks really, really good. It's a great looking face sculpt. Why can we not get these for Mortal Kombat? More on that later, but in the meantime, Minoru Suzuki, he looks fantastic. So speaking of Storm collectibles and Mortal Kombat, Big Bad Toy Store have their Mortal Kombat exclusive figure, which in this instance is a reptile with translucent green reptile arms. This is stupid and makes no sense and is a terrible cash grab. Yep, there you go, I just said it. Sub-Zero. There you go. Managed to get the words out eventually. Sub-Zero was a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive, I think, and he had translucent blue arms. That makes sense. He kind of turns his arms into ice. There are actually versions of him in the game with icy, frosty arms. It works. It actually looks pretty awesome. Then they do the same thing with Reptile, because he turns his hands into reptile spit. No, never, ever have they ever done that. This is a very lazy kind of exclusive. And look, you can buy it if you want, or don't buy it. I mean, it's fair enough. It's not like you're kind of being coerced into it. It's not like a Build-A-Figure or something. But at the same time, if you were going to do a special exclusive, maybe give him like, a more interesting head or some other kind of features. Just using the Sub-Zero arms, but in green. It doesn't make any sense. Are these made of acid spit? Like, if he hits someone, will they just go... And it's like, well, that didn't work. Lucky I'm a reptile. I'll just grow my arms back, Kurt Connors style. I wonder if Reptile took the Kurt Connors serum, then he would turn into a human. I think about the stupidest things. Anyway, check out Big Bad Toy Store for your green-armed reptile. And speaking of Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat, they have finally revealed their Liu Kang, and... this is a heartbreaker, actually, because I was really looking forward to this, and the figure lives up to my hopes, hypes, and expectations. It is Liu Kang with his gigantic green fatality dragon. Fatality / animality, but it's his fatality. It's what he turns into, and noms on his opponent. So cool. The fact that they've made it is wicked. And it's $180. So for me, that's no. I can't. They just priced me out. That really, really sucks. He's going to be available in the first quarter of next year, but I just don't think I can get him, which is a real shame. Like, I'm looking up at my Mortal Kombat collection, and it looks so cool, but 180 for Liu Kang with the dragon, it's just too much. I'm going to have to pass on it, which then is a slippery slope, because then I think, you know what? Well, if I'm not going to have Liu Kang... there's no point. I don't have to be a completionist, because he's a pretty important figure. So maybe I'll just sell some of the other ones that I'm not that fond of, and maybe I'll sell more. Maybe I'll stop collecting Storm Collectibles. That's how it happens. You got to be careful, Storm. You got to be real careful, because actually, funnily enough, it may have been coincidence, but the day that he was announced and released with a $180 price tag, I saw a whole bunch of sales posts on Facebook for Mortal Kombat characters, which I think was people going, you know what? I'm priced out of the line. I was seeing original ninjas like Ermac and Rain up for sale, which have never been available on the Facebook groups, not for the longest time. So this is interesting. What Storm should have done, excuse me while I tell a professional company how to do their jobs while I'm sat here in my parents' attic, they should have done two versions. They should have done a regular Liu Kang and then a deluxe one with the dragon. Just like so many other companies do, like not Storm Collectibles, like Hot Toys. There you go. Hot Toys will do the basic figure and the deluxe figure. But this is just, 180 for Liu Kang, too much. I saw that and I was like, I'm out. Neca, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated line, have kind of surreptitiously, not intentionally, but sort of announced their next 2-pack. Dirk Savage and Mona Lisa are featured on the back of the box that Zack and Smash come in. Zack and Smash have just been hitting the store shelves recently, so now we can see sort of the rest of this wave that they advertise on the back, and there are these two characters, Dirk and Mona Lisa. So we've only got a very blurry looking image, but it's cool to get a little sneak peek, binocular little check out there behind the scenes, but not exactly, but it feels like we discovered something we shouldn't. Even though that's not the case. It's fun. They haven't been officially announced yet, but you can see that those are the next ones coming out, and knowing Neca, they're going to look pretty cool. McFarlane teases more Avatar figures with 2 new images of 2 more characters. It's funny, I got to admit, you know what? I just wrote on my notes, McFarlane Avatar, and then in brackets, add details later. Guess what? I didn't add any details, but I don't think there are many there. But there's only 2 pictures to go on. I'm not familiar with Avatar. Here you go. I'm going to put a little scroll on the bottom if there's any extra information, but I don't think there is. I think it was just like, hey, look what's coming soon. But we'll find out when I release this video, and if there's any information underneath me. I doubt it.
Resident Evil.
Love me some oh, hang on.
Resident Evil 2.
That's how it goes. I love me some Resident Evil. And Damn Toys have made a pair of Leon and Claire Redfield figures, 1/6 scale, so Hot Toys scale, going for about $329 each and coming out the fourth quarter of this year. I front-loaded this little segment with all the important information before it disappeared from my brain box. Okay, it's gone now, in the recycle bin, but take a look at these figures. They look pretty. If you're a 1/6 scale person, then these are going to be for you. I think it's always difficult to just capture Leon in action figure form. For whatever reason, he often looks a bit derpy. This looks pretty cool. And Claire as well, with her pink motorbiking sort of gear. That looks great too. I loved Resident Evil 2 with the remake. They just keeping that franchise alive. Capcom are doing great work with Resi at the moment. And I think Damn Toys are kind of unofficial, but I'm not certain. Don't quote me on that. I know that 5K do sort of like tribute figures. Damn Toys might be legit, actually. Again, I'm a fact check myself, but I just wanted to show off these images because they look really cool. So many accessories, so many beautiful cloth goods. This is doing Resident Evil justice. Now, come on, some company somewhere, give me a new line of 1/12 figures. I'd buy the heck out of them. Iron Studios have shown a bunch of their own new figures as well, or statues more specifically, and we don't cover statues too much here, but I wanted to touch on a couple because they look kind of cool. So first up, from the Hawkeye show, we've got a Clint Barton, and of course you will also get a Kate Bishop as well, so you can put those two side by side, they'll look pretty wicked. Then we have a very grand looking Infinity Ultron. He looks kind of badass. Moving on from that, what I really like is this Casey Jones statue, which is a cool kind of unique design. Seems to be like a bit of a mashup between comic books, movies, and cartoons all put together to just make a badass looking hockey masked vigilante. He seems really cool. And then we've got a couple of Shang-Chi figures. I feel like people are sort of forgetting Shang-Chi a little bit. Like it's kind of fallen out of the cultural zeitgeist. So I wonder if that character is going to still play prominently in the rest of the Marvel Universe. And then we also have a little chibi Doctor Strange. He looks adorable. NECA are giving us more of their Aliens Fireteam Elite figures. And I think they're really doing well with these guys. It's no spicy hot take to say that NECA are making good alien figures. They've been making good alien figures for a while, and they are continuing to do so with the Buster and the Spitter. These guys are straight from the video game, as the name implies. Still haven't played Fireteam, but I hear really good things about it. I still want a single-player campaign Aliens game that, is good. I don't think we'll see that for a long, long time. But Fireteam, one of these days I might be able to dip my toe into it. But these two guys look really cool. They got the bright, glowing green areas on there, which I assume you got to shoot and they'll like psh, acid everywhere. It'll be a good time. But yeah, these look really awesome. Great additions to your Alien collection. No word on pricing and release date yet, but you know what? Keep it tuned here, and I'll probably forget to tell you. Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, the two pro wrestlers who are also the biggest action figure fans, are getting their own action figures from Super 7. This is kind of fun. This is nice. It's always nice when the geeks get to get their own thing. They're getting their own action figures, and they look like good quality action figures. If I was getting my own sort of single figure made, I'd probably want to go Super 7 maybe, because they would put all the bells and whistles in there. And it looks like that's what they've done with these two. So this is probably a fun kind of cross-promotion sort of thing with Matt Cardona's podcast and wrestling business and all that sort of thing. So this is a nice little project. I'll be happy to see it come out. Hot Toys are releasing a Thor Love and Thunder Super Deluxe Hot Toys Thor Love and Thunder figure. Say everything twice. See everything twice. Yeah. What do you expect from Hot Toys? Incredible quality and all the facial likenesses that look amazing. When do we want it? Well, the end of this year, start of next year. Hang on, let me just look down at my notes. Nah, what was I saying? End of next year, start of 2024. Man, what Marvel movies are we going to be looking forward to around about the start of 2024? There's going to be some interesting things coming up. Actually, I've got to do a video on like the next 2 years of Marvel movies, because we have a slate. We have like everything plotted out. We just got to start getting excited for it. But this Hot Toys figure looks very, very beautiful. No word on price yet, but it's going to be about $300. But hey, he does look super pretty. Speaking of super pretty, Mafex have revealed their Scarlet Spider and Retro Spider-Man. I did a separate video on these, so I won't linger on them, but Oh, Scarlet Spider, you do have my heart. So Scarlet Spider has the cloth goods hoodie. That looks really nice. And then the retro Spider-Man pretty much looks exactly the same as their original Spider-Man, but in flat, matte, lighter blue colors. And that's cool, because the original one was more metallic, and that was cool. I never got either, but this one looks like a very welcome new addition. So yeah, if you want what is arguably the quintessential Spider-Man or Spider-Men, then these could be the ones to go for. Beast Kingdom are doing a 9.5-inch Emperor Zurg from the Buzz Lightyear movie. I've not seen the movie, heard mixed things, but this Zurg, he just looks really cool. I just wanted to show it off because Beast Kingdom do great work. They really do. They, especially with like mech and tech and robots, all that kind of cool stuff. Yeah, they kind of nail it. So Emperor Zurg looks wicked. Not going to be coming out till next year. No price either, but I just wanted you to bask. Am I pointing at the right side? Is it this side? I think it's this side. Bask on the awesomeness. It's pretty awesome. Yo, Joe! Nothing confirmed yet, but it's heavily rumored. Didn't know what words I was going to say there. Just opened my mouth and made noise until something happened. It's heavily rumored that it's going to be the Hiss tank coming out for the Haslab for G.I. Joe for this year. This will be interesting. I'm not like a huge G.I. Joe fan, but when they make nice figures, they really make nice figures. And it seems like his tank makes perfect sense as a Haslab, but we can't guarantee it's even going to come off. The Rancor was one of the biggest stories of last year. Was it last year? Wow. Time's crazy. Hopefully this one, if it is the Hiss tank, it'll come to fruition, be very, very successful. Will I get it? I don't know. That's a tough one. Gonna have to wait and see. But hopefully they announce it soon. And if it's not the Hiss tank, then hey, I hope it's something even cooler. But that's what the smart money's on. Only time will tell. Now you know me. I love a good crazy mashup, and I got a good crazy mashup for you guys. Hasbro and Target are releasing the Transformers Street Fighter 2 mashup figures, and these are fun, weird, and just kind of quirky. They actually came out in Japan back in 2018, maybe 2019, around about that time. But now they're coming out in the US for easy purchase. Well, I say easy, easy-ish. They're Target exclusives, but they do look pretty fun. So there's Hot Rod, who mashes up with Ken. That works pretty well for the two hot-headed type characters. Chun-Li and RC, they go together. Then Optimus Prime goes with Ryu. Makes sense to have the two big franchise characters together. And then similarly, Megatron goes with M. Bison. So those are really fun, cool, and quirky. Not for me personally, because I don't get Transformers, but I love the two franchises, so it's fun to have a look at. And speaking of Transformers and Target, they also have the Target exclusive Tonkanator, which is, just the name alone. It's pretty wicked. So this is Devastator repainted in Tonka Toys sort of colors. So all yellow, and of course because it's Tonka and brand integration, it's got to be a good guy. But of course I love good and bad equal opposite type things. So if I had the big Decepticon Devastator, I would love an Autobot version to kind of bookend him. That would be really, really cool. So this figure goes for, I think it's about $104. Yeah, that's what it said on the website. I think it's available for pre-order now, but I couldn't see when he's expected. But still, as a fun, quirky, alternate version of Devastator, kind of like a Shattered Glass version, I suppose, that sort of works. This looks pretty cool. In movie news, Tom Cruise has got to be a happy little Scientologist because Maverick has set a new box office record for him. His fastest movie to make it to $1 billion. $1 billion. It's a good word, that one right there. And look, it deserves it. It's a really fun action movie that has a bit of heart, a bit of pathos, some get hype moments. I was a fan of Maverick. Not as much as I wanted to, because it wasn't quite cheesy enough. I wanted a bit of silliness. I wanted a bit more danger zone right at the end to really get the blood pumping, but it was a bit too much of a serious film. And I'm like, nah, I wanted something a little bit sillier. But still, I had a good time with it, and Tom Cruise, he's definitely having a good time with it. Thor Love and Thunder is getting its early reviews, its press screenings and all that kind of thing, and the general consensus is good solid Marvel movie. So it's not setting the world on fire, which is like, well, I'm not sure if anyone expected it to set the world on fire. It seems to be sort of tracking as we would kind of expect, just good solid Marvel movie. I mean, obviously, whenever a new Marvel movie comes out, you want to hear people going, oh, this is the best thing ever. So it means with like a little disappointment, because you want to hear critics going, oh my goodness, Taika Waititi is a hilarious comedy genius, master of Marvel, and you know, he's got a good track record. But still, even if Love and Thunder isn't spectacular, it sounds pretty solid, and that can be good enough for me. Over on Netflix, Stranger Things has been bumped off the top spot by Umbrella Academy. And I kind of love the fact that the two biggest franchise shows on Netflix are these kind of fun superhero slash nerd geeky kind of culture type stories. And I love that. You don't want to talk about the geeks inheriting the earth? Boom, baby! We got this thing covered. And also, I really love what they're doing in Umbrella Academy, the way that they're handling Elliot Page's storyline and character, both on screen and off screen. Like, double thumbs up. I think they've actually done a really good job of being like sensitive and just being very self-aware, not being exploitative or ridiculous. Just, yeah, I don't want to sort of spoil anything for folks who haven't seen Umbrella Academy, but just, yeah, kudos. I like what you're doing there. And finally, a little bit of silly news to finish on, because you know we like silliness here. It would seem that the 2028 Summer Olympics are looking to incorporate, basically, Ninja Warrior into the Olympic Games, which is just going to be a lot of fun. This is part of the decathlon, which is actually an event that I find quite interesting because I have a short attention span, and I'm like, lots of little events all in one? Yeah, I can focus on that because it's very, very fast moving, lots of different things. It's a good time. And they're like, what is the greatest test of physical prowess and acumen? It's Ninja Warrior, really, isn't it? So hopefully in 2028, we're going to be seeing Ninja Warrior, or at least a version of that, in the Olympic Games. And I think that's pretty cool. And folks, that does it for good news for today. What did you think about the stories we covered? Comment below, let me know. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more, then join the 6-1 Clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And if you want to go one step beyond in supporting the channel, well, you can do. You can either go over to patreon.com/displaying model behavior, toss a couple of bucks my way, and you can enjoy the exclusive videos on there. Or if you want to keep it right here on YouTube, you can get yourself a channel membership, so you can enjoy those exclusive videos and also get your comments highlighted in the live streams and all that kind of thing. It's a good time. And finally, if you want to get yourself a badass displaying model behavior t-shirt, hat, beanie, jumper, hoodie, mug, flask, or anything else, you can go over to teespring.com. Check the link in the description below. Alright guys, that does it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Now, the first thing we're going to talk about here is super... Oh, I'm not going to do that.
You see here and you want to see more, then you know what you got to do. You got to join the 6-1 Clicks by clicking the like shit. Let's try that again. I'm just garbling my words.